Difficult conversations without war. How to talk about boundaries, money, and hurt. Have you ever felt like you were entering an arena every time you needed to have an important conversation? That moment when the lump forms in your throat, your body accelerates, and you know that if the truth comes out, she will scream and hurt. Conversations about limits, about money, or about old hurts have the power to sabotage precious bonds and leave you bleeding emotionally. But what if I told you there is a structure, simple and human, which allows you to be firm without hurting and bring clarity that cares? It's not about winning debates, but about preserving mutual dignity while adjusting course. In this series, we will open the door to the difficult conversations without war. You will learn the 5-piece map: intention, rhythm, language, body, and agreement that transforms defensive monologues into bridges of questions. I'll give you the exact phrases to talk about money with dignity, about hurt without court, and about boundaries without blame. Stop exploding or disappearing. Stay with me and discover how to get out of any conflict with a small agreement that breathes in one greater bond. Introduction: Conversations that hurt and how to keep them from bleeding. When the truth comes late, it tends to scream. When anger speaks first, precision is lost. When pride takes the wheel, the bond shrinks. There is another way: firmness without hurting, clarity that cares. Today we open the door to difficult conversations without war. The proposal is simple, human, and practical in everyday life. Swap impulse for pause and description for judgment. Transform defensive monologues into bridges of questions. Bring the regulated body into the tense conversation, and come out with small agreements that breathe over time. It's not about winning debates and collecting reasons. It's about preserving dignity while adjusting roots. It's about talking about what matters without losing tenderness. It's about naming costs without humiliating anyone. It's about choosing proximity with clear boundaries. You will learn a structure that fits any topic: limits, money, tasks, jealousy, old hurts. 5 pieces: intention, rhythm, language, body, accord. Each piece fits into the conversation like a gentle gear. When they spin together, the room drops in tone and listens. By the end, you will have phrases, rituals, and protocols. To start without explosion and finish with combinations. To avoid ice, disappearance, and endless explanations. To notice when you slip up without feeling too guilty. And to follow close without carrying open wounds. Fundamentals: difficult conversation navigation map. Intention: decide what you really want to protect. Bond, health, deadline, mutual dignity, coherence. Without a clear intention, the speech turns into a hunt for the guilty party. With clear intention, the tone finds its way. Conversation arises with direction, not noise. Rhythm: pre, during, and post with explicit pauses. Pre: take a breath, write an achievable goal line. During: one idea per sentence, air between periods. Post: short, verifiable written confirmation. Good rhythm is repeatable, not brilliant and rare. Language: data before adjectives always. Tell where, when, how many times, who was there. Name effect on you without guilt theology. Ask a small question that opens the next step. Description decreases defense and increases clarity. Body: take the nervous system slowed down. Loose jaw, shoulders a tone lower, feet firm. 4-2-6 breathing for 3 cycles before speaking. Look softly at the person, not the script. Regulated body holds the house when speech trembles. Agreement: close with small test and review date. We do X for a week and talk on Friday. Short agreements avoid grandiose promises and failures. They build trust through unobtrusive repetition. The bond is grateful when the combined breathes. Structure: open, describe, ask, agree, confirm. Open regulates the climate before the contents arrive. Start with the purpose. I want this to work for us. Lower your voice and offer a break. State the theme in one line, without dramatic suspense. Invite presence. Water, chair, cell phone turned over. Describe exchanges, adjectives for verifiable data. Tell where, when, how many times, who was there. Use observable verbs. Interrupt, delay, promise. Name its bodily and mental effect, short and concrete. Avoid interpretations of intent until agreement is reached. To ask opens bridge without pushing verdict. How did you notice this same situation there? What was missing for this to work on our side? What would be a small, possible first adjustment? A good question enlightens without embarrassing anyone. To wake up turns conversation into practical rehearsal. Define scope, responsibility, and deadline with gentle clarity. Choose short tests. Days, not months. Steps, not epics. Prepare Plan B if the scenario really changes. Agreements breathe when they fit into the real world. Confirm avoids versions, noise, and forgetfulness. Reiterate in a simple message what was agreed. Bookmark short review to learn from practice. Thank them for their effort and close with a gesture of care. The conversation ends smaller, but the bond ends bigger. If this structure gave you air between emotion and speech, consider walking with us. Thus, each new encounter comes as a gentle reminder to transform tension into bridge. Being subscribed is like having a discreet bell calling you back to the essentials. We remain gentle, choosing clarity that cares instead of haste that hurts. When it makes sense, I'll be here with the next simple, actionable step. Language that calms, bridge phrases for sensitive topics, personal limits, no war, only measure and respect. I want to stay close, and I need a pace that I can sustain. Today I can get half an hour, the rest Friday at 10 a.m. I prefer to align in writing so as not to miss details. If the tone rises, I pause and resume calmly. Money with dignity and engineering accordingly. To fit the budget, I can get X by such and such date. If we expand scope, we adjust value and deadline together. I prefer transparency to surprise. Shall we open a spreadsheet soon? We will test for a month and review the numbers when we return. Old hurts without court, with photo of the moment. On Tuesday during the meeting, I felt ironic and closed myself off. When it happens, I lose focus for minutes. I want to adjust. Did you notice anything different on this side too? Can we try speaking turns and review on Friday? Jealousy and insecurity with anchoring in the body. I get anxious when answers disappear for a long time. A schedule agreement would leave me alone. Are you willing to set return windows today? If I exaggerate, let me know. I want to learn how to measure. Rework and promises without eternal guilt. I realized I overpromised. I'll adjust to serve you well. I can get this part today and the rest by Wednesday. If I insist on saying yes now, I'll deliver poorly. I'd rather review it. I'll check on Friday what worked and what we adjusted. Calming rhythm. Pre, during, and post without rushing. Rhythm begins before of conversation, in the role of silence. Write a goal line that fits the real. List 2 facts and 1 effect on the body, without adjectives. Choose a small request that avoids heroic promises. Breathe 4, 2 to 6 3 times. Take less rush, more ground. During, say 1 idea per sentence, with air between periods. Take turns. Who speaks, who listens, and who confirms. If the tone rises, suggest a 90-second break. Start describing again and ask something as small as possible. The conversation respects those who respect her music. Micro rhythms avoid unnecessary emotional avalanche. Use mental count of 5s before answering. Write down the keywords so you don't interrupt with anxiety. Replace always never with live episode numbers. Good rhythm makes less noise and produces more harmony. Post. This is where trust and memory of the encounter are born. Summarize the agreement in writing, short and verifiable. Define review, day, time, and success criteria. Thank them for their effort and point out what worked well. Repair small edges before they turn into large ice. If you miss the beat, don't declare war on the guitar. Return topri, objective, facts, effect, and simple request. Adjust the metric, smaller steps, more manageable deadlines. Rhythm is muscle, not rare talent or inspiration. Gentle repetition turns tension into a track. Body as moderator, signals, techniques, and safe window. The body announces storms before the first word. Jaw set, chest short, pupil narrow with warning. If you ignore it, you will get excess volume and little accuracy. If you listen, a space appears between impulse and possible choice. Adult conversation calls for physiology and peace to exist. 3 red lights ask for an immediate and brief break. Cold hands and voice accelerating without you noticing. Sudden urge to interrupt to win. Biased memory seeking old ammunition. Stop for 90 seconds, start over with the description. 4 techniques to self-regulate without dramatizing anything. Grounding your feet, weight distributed, toes awake. Breathing 4-2-6, 3 cycles, soft gaze on the horizon. Discreet touch on the forearm. I'm here now. Water in slow sips. Safety information to the brain. A safe window decide how deep you can go today. Below 2 activation, proceed with questions. In 2, align short scope and turnaround time. In 3, contain pause and mark another moment. Forcing depth becomes a relapse of confidence. Close by, anchoring the body in what was left agreed. Repeat under your breath. 1 step, 1 deadline, 1 test. Feel your shoulders drop with the simple phrase. Write the agreement while the body is still breathing. Physical clarity protects the agreement from mental noise. If these structures gave you inches of air in the conversation, consider sticking around. Thus, each new video arrives as a calm reminder to align body and word. The inscription becomes a gentle touch of presence when the dialogue threatens to boil over. We remain calm, exchanging urgency for precision and practical care. When it makes sense, I'll come back with the next clear, breathable step. Scripts for frictionless money and tasks. Money and tasks require engineering clarity, not drama. Combine scope, value, deadline, and delivery criteria. 1 idea per sentence without inflammatory adjectives. Confirm in writing to cut out future noise. Short, verifiable, revisable. That's the song. When your budget is tight, use an objective ruler. To fit, I can X until data by value. If we include and, we adjust the price and deadline together. I can phase, delivery partial today, final on Friday. Transparency reduces anxiety and increases cooperation. For scope that grows without matching, anchor boundaries. That's it. In addition of the combined, I propose to create stage 2. If we prioritize A, B goes to next week. Want to keep everything? We'll adjust the price term proportionally. Clear accountability avoids silent resentment. When prioritizing tasks, convert urgency into order. Please list 3 items, which it cannot wait. My window, today 2 to 4 p.m., the rest, Wednesday 10 a.m. Success criteria, delivered, tested, registered. A good agreement is born from small, useful questions. For reviews and rework, protect the bond and time. I saw points for improvement. I propose version 2. 2 rounds included, from the 3rd onwards table. I align feedback in objective bullets, not subjective ones. We'll review it at 9 a.m. on Friday. If it changes, let me know by Thursday. Calm management of expectations is care in the form of an agenda. Bond repairs, helpful apology and review. Making amends is more than saying sorry. It's return trust. Need fact, effect, responsibility and adjustment. No theater, no justification that steals the scene. Small and direct to fit in the other's heart. A good repair improves tomorrow, not just today's mood. Excuse structure that works in the body. That's it, situation X, EU action Y. I realize that this has generated Z effect in you. I take responsibility for that part. I propose step A with deadline B to correct. Applied examples that are present in everyday life. I interrupted you 3 times. I interrupted your speech. I take over and train shifts. Tomorrow I'll hear from you first. I'll send it to you in writing and confirm at 10 a.m. We reviewed on Friday what has already improved. Revision is where repair takes root. Set a short date. Thursday, 15 minutes check-in. Asking what has changed and what still weighs heavily. Adjust the protocol without defending yourself from feedback. Learning repeats itself until it becomes a way of being. When both are wrong, conduct without court. Proposecco responsibility with symmetrical steps. I take care of X, you take care of and. If we fail, we return to the agreement without humiliation. Repairing is maintaining the bond greater than the stumble. High risk, hard limits and calm containment. Some conversations call for containment, no depth now. When there is a history of attack, escalation or manipulation. When the body marks 3 of activation even after pausing. When there is a high legal, financial or reputational impact. The priority turns security plus traceability, immediate. Short structure to say no and close with dignity. I pause here. We will resume tomorrow, 10 a.m., in writing. That tone shuts me down. I'll only follow up by email. Without an agreement on X, I won't move forward with Y. If you insist now, I will end the meeting and reschedule. Protection tools that don't become a spectacle. Registered channel, email, minutes, objective message. Witness when it makes sense and professional support. Calm repetition of the border, without new arguments. Set time for return, without silent punitiveness. Criteria of de-escalation before reopening the topic. Steady tone for 15 minutes of conversation. Recognition of fact, not of someone else's intention. Turn-taking arrangement and 0 interruptions. Plan B if the track goes off. Pause and reschedule. If none of this is respected, contain yourself and leave. I'll end here and return to the agreed format. Don't over-explain. The explanation becomes a moving target. Take care of your body when you leave. Water, air, feet on the ground. Hard limits are adult care for both sides. Final integration. From conflict to breathable agreement. We've put together 5 pieces that turn like gentle gears. Intention clean, rhythm with pauses, language of data, body and chord and agreements, short with scheduled review. When they enter together, the room's tone drops without losing its truth, and the bond learns to exist with air, even in friction. Weekly ritual to train without emotional overload. Second, objective in 1 line before any conversation. Tuesday, description without adjective, plus short question. Fourth, short agreement with clear success criteria. Thursday, 15-minute review. Friday, thanks. Indicators that the practice has gone from paper to the body. Less always never, more live numbers and contexts. Fewer long returns, more verifiable messages. Sleep and appetite return after tense topics. Mutual respect grows without the need for heroes. When you slip up, and you will, restart gently. 90-second break, water, feet on the ground. Reopen by description of what in fact occurred. Ask for a small trial, with a short deadline and review. Maturity is in the return, not in perfection. Close the conversation by honoring what was possible today. Thanks for holding your ground and rehearsing this deal. We reviewed on Tuesday what worked and what needs to be adjusted. The field learns from what we calmly repeat. This is how the difficult stops becoming a war and becomes a path. If this map has calmed your conversations, consider following along. So each new video comes as a gentle invitation to practice without punishing yourself. At the next meeting, we will open Uncovering Forgotten Truths, Whispers of Invisible Victims. You will see how to transform the widespread impact of unrecognized realities and explore. A path toward healing and understanding is illuminated for those struggling with the weight of hidden emotional burdens. If it makes sense, come with me. We remain calm, firm, and increasingly precise.